There's a moment in every awakening journey that changes everything. It's not dramatic, it's not loud, it's quiet, subtle, easy to miss. It's the moment you realize reality is responding to you. Not in the way you were taught, not through hard work or positive thinking or manifestation techniques, but in a language older than words, a language of pattern, of synchronicity, of perfect mathematical timing. And for most people, the first time they notice this language, it comes through numbers. You see 1111 on the clock, 222 on a license plate, 444 on a receipt, and everyone tells you the universe is sending you messages. But what if I told you it's not the universe talking to you, it's you remembering who you are? Stay until the end, because I'm going to tell you what repeating numbers actually mean, and it's going to shift how you see synchronicity, reality, and your own power forever. You've probably Googled it. 111 means manifestation is coming. 222 means trust the process. 333 means your angels are near. And maybe that feels comforting. Maybe it gives you hope that something bigger is watching over you. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The universe isn't outside of you, sending you coded messages through your clock. You are the universe. And these numbers, they're not messages. They're recognition points. Moments when you briefly remember that you're creating all of this. The mainstream spiritual explanation goes like this. Angels, spirit guides, or the universe are trying to communicate with you. They use repeating numbers because they're easy to notice. Each number sequence has a specific meaning, a message you're supposed to decode. And look, there's some truth in that framework. It works for a lot of people. It creates comfort, connection, a sense of being guided. But it keeps you in a paradigm where reality is something that happens to you, where messages come from outside. It keeps you in the position of receiver instead of creator. And that's the old model, the model where you're separate from the universe, waiting for it to speak to you, hoping it approves of your path. But what if you're not separate? What if you've never been separate? What if these numbers aren't messages from the outside, but recognition codes from within? Here's what's really going on when you see repeating numbers. You're experiencing a moment of heightened coherence between your conscious mind and the deeper intelligence that creates your reality. Think of it like this. Your everyday waking consciousness is a narrow bandwidth. It's focused on survival, tasks, problems, identity. But beneath that, there's a vast field of awareness, your higher self, the unified field, consciousness itself. And that field is always creating, always organizing reality according to patterns, sacred geometry, mathematical ratios, the Fibonacci sequence, the golden mean. Reality is structured by pattern and number. Ancient mystics knew this. The Pythagoreans said, all is number. They weren't being poetic, they were describing the architecture of existence. So when you see 1111, you're not receiving a message, you're having a recognition event. Your conscious awareness briefly syncs with the mathematical harmonic that's always running beneath reality. You notice the pattern because you are the pattern. It's like suddenly seeing the code in the matrix. Not because someone showed it to you, but because you remembered you wrote it. This is why repeating numbers spike during spiritual awakening. It's not because the universe suddenly decided to talk to you more. It's because your awareness is expanding. The veil between your everyday mind and your deeper consciousness is thinning. You're becoming more coherent, more aligned, less fragmented. And in that coherence, you start noticing the patterns that were always there, the synchronicities, the mathematical harmonics, the perfection in the design. Some people see repeating numbers, Others hear the same song at the perfect moment. Some get downloads, insights, sudden knowings. Same phenomenon, different expression. You're tuning into a frequency that's always broadcasting. You just couldn't hear it before because your signal was scrambled. And here's where it gets interesting. The more you notice, the more you notice. Not because the universe is rewarding you for paying attention, but because you're training your consciousness to stay in that expanded state. You're learning to live from the field instead of from the fragmented mind. Every time you see 1111 and feel that little jolt of recognition, there it is again. You're reinforcing the neural pathway that connects you to the pattern. You're literally rewiring yourself to perceive reality as it actually is. Intelligent, responsive, alive. So what do you do when you see repeating numbers now that you know what they actually are? First, stop outsourcing the meaning. Don't immediately Google, what does 555 mean? Sit with it. Feel what arises. What were you just thinking about? What question were you holding? The number appeared because you summoned it through your state of consciousness. So ask yourself, what is this reflecting back to me? Second, use it as a coherence check. When you see repeating numbers frequently, it means you're aligned. Your inner reality and outer form are synchronized. You're in flow. You're creating consciously. Keep doing whatever you're doing. When do the synchronicities stop? It doesn't mean you did something wrong. It means you've integrated that level of awareness. You don't need the training wheels anymore. You're living in coherence without needing constant confirmation. Third, recognize it as proof. Not that angels are watching over you, but that you are the creator of your experience. The fact that you notice 1111 at the exact moment you think about manifestation isn't a coincidence. It's you showing yourself that your consciousness is organizing reality in real time. You're not receiving signs, you're reading your own signal. So the next time you see 1111, don't look up. Don't ask the universe what it means. Look in, because it's not a message from outside, it's a memory from within. You are the pattern recognizing itself. You are the code becoming conscious. You are the universe remembering that it's you. And that's what the numbers have been trying to tell you all along. Welcome to Soul Rousing.